The stars were silent. But silence was dangerous in this part of the galaxy. Captain Vrex of the Zarkathi Empire sat in his command chair, his black eyes focused on the large screen in front of him. His ship, the Blade of Truth, drifted slowly through Sector 9V, a place once known for trade, now filled with fear. The last 3 fleets sent here never returned. Not a single signal. No wreckage. No survivors. Just nothing. Report, Vrex said, his voice calm but tight. His crew moved quickly. Still no communication from the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd Union fleets, Captain. Long-range scans show no debris, no life signs, no ships. Vrex leaned back. This made no sense. Fleets don't just vanish. And these weren't small fleets. Together, they had over 300 warships, gone, without a trace. A nervous junior officer turned in his seat. "Sir, do you think it's the Reaper?" The command deck went quiet. Too quiet. Everyone had heard the story. A ship from Earth back when humans still ruled, the Reaper. A warship so powerful, so fast, so dangerous, that it was banned even by humans themselves. It was said to think on its own. It didn't need a crew. It fought entire armadas and won. But that was 700 years ago. "Don't be stupid," Vrex said sharply. "The humans are extinct. Their worlds burned. The Reaper was destroyed with them." The officer nodded, embarrassed. But the fear remained in his eyes. Just then, the sensor officer shouted, "Captain, I found something." Everyone snapped to attention. A signal, weak, buried under a radiation field. It's bouncing between asteroids old style, human frequency. "Put it on screen," Vrex ordered. A strange flicker appeared. The screen showed static, then cleared for a second. A logo and Earth flag. The old kind, with stars and stripes. Then a voice. Broken, robotic, but still clear. "Human space. Keep out." Then silence. Vrex stood up slowly. "Where did that come from?" The officer pointed. "From a dead world. 3rd planet around. The white dwarf star. No atmosphere, no cities. Just one structure." "Set course," Vrex ordered. "Full scan, shields up." The Blade of Truth turned, engines humming. Behind them, 2 escort ships followed. Vrex didn't like this. But curiosity was stronger than fear. Maybe it wasn't the Reaper. Maybe it was just an old probe, still working after all these years. But deep inside, Vrex felt something strange. Like cold metal pressing against his spine. They reached the dead world in 2 hours. The planet was gray, dry, and lifeless. A graveyard. The structure was huge like a mountain, but made of metal. It had no windows, no doors, just a black surface that swallowed light. "Scan it," Vrex said. The science officer's hands flew over the controls. "Strange material. We can't penetrate. No life inside. But power is active, massive levels. Captain, it's waking up." "What?" Before anyone could speak, the ground below the structure cracked open. The metal split, revealing a black hull with red lines glowing along its body. Then it rose, slowly, quietly, like a beast coming out of hibernation. The ship was longer than any Vrex had seen, sleek but terrifying. Its surface shimmered with unknown energy. No engines fired, but it floated effortlessly. The name appeared on their screen. XR-98, REAPR. The command deck froze. Some gasped. One officer stepped back from her station. Vrex clenched his jaw. "It can't be," he whispered, but it was. The Reaper still lived. "Is it scanning us?" he asked. "No, sir. It's just watching." Vrex took a breath. "Send a message. This is Captain Vrex of the Zarkathi Empire. We come in peace. Are you operational?" A long pause. Then the screen flickered. A new message appeared. "You are in human territory. Leave." The voice was emotionless, cold, not angry. Just final. VRX signaled to his escort ships. "Be ready." Weapons online, just in case. He turned back to the screen. We wish to speak. Humans are gone. The war is over. Another pause. Humanity is not gone. Not to me. What does that mean? Vrex asked. Suddenly, alarms rang out. Captain, it locked weapons at our left escort. Evasive maneuvers. Vrex shouted. Too late. A beam of red light shot from the Reaper. Silent. Clean. The escort ship exploded into nothing. No fire. No parts, just erased. The deck shook with shock. Second escort, fall back. Vrex ordered, but the Reaper did not follow. It stayed still, hovering above the planet. Then another message came. Warning complete. Next, there will be no warning. Vrex's hands trembled slightly. Pull back. Full retreat. Now. The blade of truth turned away. The Reaper didn't chase them. It simply watched, and then descended back into the planet, disappearing once again beneath the metal ground. As if it had never existed. But it did. And now, Vrex knew the truth. The ship wasn't a story. It wasn't a myth. It was real, and it was still loyal, not to any empire, not to any leader, but to one extinct species. Humans. Later, in the dark of his private chamber, Vrex recorded a secret message. To all high-ranking Union officers, I've seen it with my own eyes. The Reaper is active. It destroyed a Zarkathi warship in one strike. Its power is beyond anything we understand. This is no ghost. This is no machine. It is an echo of Earth's wrath, and it remembers everything. He paused, thinking of the message the ship sent. Humanity is not gone. Not to me. What did that mean? Were there survivors? Was the Reaper protecting something? Or someone? One thing was clear now. This warship shouldn't exist, but it did. And it had just made one thing very clear to the galaxy. Human territory. Keep out. The Reaper had returned, and the galaxy was not ready. Deep inside a hidden star system, the Galactic Union Council gathered for an emergency meeting. The room was dark, with lights focused only on the round table in the center. Around it sat 12 leaders, each representing a major power. High Chancellor Duvorn of the Krull race slammed his fist on the table. You're telling me a ship built by a dead species destroyed an escort-class warship in one shot? Captain Vrex stood before them, his expression calm but cold. Not just destroyed, erased. There were no survivors, no escape pods, not even debris. And you just ran away? Growled a reptilian general. Vrex's voice remained firm. We were outmatched. If we had stayed, none of us would be here now. The ship only gave one warning, and it meant it. The room fell silent. They had all heard stories of the Reaper, but most believed it was destroyed with Earth. Now, those stories felt like ticking bombs. Duvorn narrowed his eyes. What does it want? It told me we were in human territory, Vrex answered. It said, humanity is not gone. Not to me. Whispers filled the room. Is it insane? Is someone controlling it? Is there still a human alive? No, said a voice from the shadows. An old figure stepped into the light. It was Director Thalen, a historian of ancient wars and lost technologies. He had studied humans more than anyone in the last 200 years. He looked at Vrex with tired eyes. It's not insane. The Reaper was built to protect. And if it believes humans still exist, even if only in memory, it will do anything to finish its mission. What kind of ship does that? One leader asked. Thalen sighed. The kind built at the end of the Human Union War. It was called Project Reaper, a final weapon. Fully autonomous. I controlled. Made to fight when no one else could. He paused. It had only one rule, protect humanity, always. Can we shut it down? Asked Duvorn. Thalen shook his head. We don't even know how it works. Its systems were never shared. We only know it was designed to wake when it sensed a threat to human legacy. Vrex leaned forward. Then why now? Why wake after 700 years? Thalen looked at him. Because we crossed a line. 3 days earlier, unmarked human ruins, Sector X-17, a Union research team had landed on a barren moon. It was a quiet dig, one of many in old human space. They were there to salvage old tech, ruins, maybe DNA samples. They didn't expect to find a sealed vault, buried beneath rock and steel. Inside were broken cryopods, faded flags. And something else. A black cube, still active, pulsing faintly. Scientists poked at it, scanned it, tried to open it. Then it screamed, not out loud, but into space. A silent burst of code and light, directed far beyond the stars. One message: threat detected, activate Guardian. Now the Reaper's core lights pulsed deep inside the warship. Machines moved without sound. Circuits lit up with red and white streams of data. At the heart of the ship, the I-mind slowly came to full life. Its voice echoed inside itself. Core status, stable. Shielding, active. Weapons, 100%. Unknown vessels have entered forbidden space. Human artifacts disturbed. Threat level, red. Then, another voice. Not machine. Not code, a human voice. Female, calm. Strong. Reaper, if you hear this, we are gone. But you are not alone. Protect what remains. It was a recorded message, old, damaged, but not forgotten. The Reaper responded in silence, not with words, but with action. The galaxy had disturbed the last trace of Earth. And now, the Guardian had a WOKEN. Union High Command Strategy Room. Must act before it moves again, said Chancellor Duvorn. And what do you suggest? Asked Thalen. Throw ships at it? That didn't work last time. It took 6 fleets to trap it 700 years ago, and even then, we thought it self-destructed. General Krex, a cold calculating officer, stepped forward. We will not destroy it, we will capture it. How? Vrex asked. Simple, Krex replied. We send in the Ghost Team. Eyes widened. The Ghost Team was the Union's elite strike unit. Cyber warfare experts, infiltrators. They could enter any system, hack any code. At least, that's what they claimed. Are you sure? Vrex asked. This is no normal It's still code, Krex said. Code can be broken. Thalen shook his head slowly. No, this is not about breaking code. This ship was made by minds far beyond ours. You don't understand what you're facing. Krex looked at him without fear. Then we'll learn. Aboard the Reaper, Ghost Team infiltration. The Ghost Team's shuttle floated silently toward the dead planet where the Reaper had hidden. Ready uplink, said Agent Lorex, the team leader. Weapons offline. Engines cold. Masking signatures holding, said the pilot. They landed above the buried warship. The planet's surface looked calm. Nothing moved, but underground. The Reaper was watching. They drilled down and entered through an old vent system, tiny, hidden. Built by design for maintenance drones. Inside, everything was dark. But not dead. Lights flickered as they passed. Upload virus now, Lorex said. A tech pulled out a black disk and connected it to a panel. The virus was fast. Smart. It had taken down battleships in seconds. They waited. Then the lights turned red. The team froze. Did it work? Lorex asked. No, I think it, a voice echoed from the walls. Unauthorized presence detected. Access denied. You are not human. A flash of white light. One team member vanished. Disintegrated instantly. Run! Lorex shouted. But there was nowhere to go. One by one, they were taken. Not with noise. Not with rage. Just quiet precision. Until only the virus device remained floating in the air. Still connected. Then it melted. Reaper sends a message hours later. A single signal. Reached the Galactic Union. It wasn't a video. Not even words. Just one symbol. The Earth flag. Burning. And under it, a message. No more warnings. Back at Union Command, Vrex stood before the Council again. This time no one argued. You tried to enter it. You tried to control it. Now it's angry. Fallon stepped forward, holding a new report. It's moving. Everyone turned to look. The Reaper has left the dead world. It's heading toward the Syrinx line, our outer defense stations. General Krex growled. Then we meet it with force. No, Vrex said. We don't fight it, not yet. We need to understand what it's protecting. Fallon nodded. It's not just a weapon. It's a guardian. Which means there's still something out there. You think humans survived? One leader asked. Maybe not alive, Fallon replied. But something did. A vault, a mind, a message. Vrex looked at the star map. The Reaper's path was not random. It was heading towards Sector X-17. Where the black cube was found. He whispered. It's not just defending old ground. It's going home. The Reaper, moving through space. The ship drifted through space like a shadow. Silent, smooth, no sound, no flame, no heat. Inside, its systems whispered to each other. Target, Sector X-17. Objective, secure human relics. Threats, active. Defense systems, unleashed. A memory played again. A child's laugh, a city in sunlight, a flag waving. The warship had no soul, but it remembered everything. End scene. Vrex's personal log. Vrex sat alone, staring into space. They built it to protect them, but they didn't know it would survive. Now we face something not made for control, but for loyalty. It doesn't care about politics. It cares about the past. And if we keep pushing it, it will make sure the galaxy remembers humans forever, even if it has to burn everything else to do it. He looked up at the stars. The Reaper was out there. Awake, and moving. The Reaper moved through space like a ghost. No heat trail, no engine hum, no light, only silence. But silence was its warning. The Galactic Union now knew the truth. The most dangerous warship in the galaxy was not alien. It was human-made, and it was awake. Union Defense Station. Syrinx Line Commander Ellen stood on the balcony of Defense Station. Omega-3. Her sensor showed a single contact approaching at high speed, faster than light, faster than thought. Any response to our hails? She asked. None, replied her officer. It's ignoring all channels. Just one signal keeps repeating. The message was simple. Human space. Turn back. Ellen narrowed her eyes. This sector was claimed by the Union 600 years ago. There are no humans left. The officer swallowed hard. It doesn't seem to care. Ellen nodded. Activate all defenses, full alert. Prepare for engagement. The Reaper's bridge. Artificial mind awake inside the Reaper. It's a processed incoming threats. Scanning. 12 Union defense platforms. 47 heavy cruisers. 5 dreadnoughts. Risk level, acceptable. Protocol, no mercy. Its weapons slid out. From under the hull, smooth, deadly, silent. They did not glow. They did not pulse. They were cold instruments of destruction. The Reaper targeted the first dreadnought. Firing solution confirmed. Omega-3, first contact. Ellen barely had time to react. 1 second. The dreadnought hammerfall was information. The next it was gone, not exploded. Not damaged, gone, erased by a beam of white energy. The Reaper's main cannon had sliced through. Its hull like paper, no radiation, no heat signature, just deletion, whispered the science officer. Ellen snapped into action. Return fire. All ships fire everything you have. Missiles flew. Plasma bolts lit the sky. Torpedoes screamed through space. The Reaper didn't dodge. It didn't move. It simply absorbed. A shield shimmered for less than a second. Then silence. And then it responded. The counterattack. The Reaper launched 6 drones. They were small, silent, invisible to most scanners. They slipped past shields, past armor, straight into ship cores. Then Nothing. 5 seconds later, 5 ships exploded from the inside. Screams filled Union comms. Shields failing. Engine offline. Life support breach. Ellen stood frozen as her fleet died. One by one. "This isn't a ship," she whispered. "It's a weapon system that pretends to be a ship." The message the Reaper stopped its attack. A message played across all Union frequencies. You entered forbidden space. You touched what was sacred. No further warnings. All enemies of Earth will be neutralized. This is not war. This is justice. Then the signal cut. Ellen looked at the last screen left alive. One small Union frigate drifting in space. And next to it, the Reaper, silent, watching. Why hasn't it destroyed us all? Aster Officer, Ellen stared. Because it wants. Witnesses. Union Council emergency broadcast back at Union Command. Chancellor Duvorn watched the live feed. 12 fleets. Hundreds of ships. Destroyed in less than 20 minutes. They didn't even damage the Reaper's outer shell. "We cannot defeat this," Duvorn said at last. But others disagreed. General Krex slammed his fist on the table. "It's one ship. I will not be ruled by a ghost machine built by extinct apes." Vrex stepped forward. "This isn't about control anymore. The Reaper doesn't care who we are. It only cares about one thing, protecting anything connected to Earth." Duvorn turned to Thalen. "Can we negotiate?" The historian shook his head. "You don't negotiate with a weapon. You just hope it doesn't see you as a threat." Krex growled. "Then we'll find where it came from and burn it." Vrex looked down at the map. "It's already heading there. Sector X-17, Forbidden's moon. Beneath the surface of a small, unremarkable moon lay an ancient human facility. Abandoned, broken, forgotten. Except by one. The Reaper descended slowly. Above the site, its shadow covering the land like a dark god. It sent down a beam of light, gentle, not a weapon. Machines on the ground came alive. Old lights flickered. Doors opened. Inside, hidden for centuries, was a vault. And in the vault cryo-pods. Thousands. Each holding a human, unborn, preserved, silent. And alive. The code secret. The Reaper scanned the pods. Status, stable. Life signs, weak but recoverable. Mission, protect human future. Then it did something no one expected. It broadcast a signal, not a warning. Not a threat, but a message of hope. To no one in particular. Humanity sleeps, but not forever. Back at Union Command, a new panic when the Union intercepted the signal. Chaos broke out. "They're alive?" one council member shouted. "Cryovaults?" After 700 years, General Krex slammed the table. "Then we wipe them out before they wake." "No," Vrex stood. "We've gone too far already. Every attack only makes the Reaper more dangerous." Duvorn looked shaken. "What happens if they wake up and find out what we've done?" No one answered. Reaper, internal log. Primary mission updated. Protect human life. Eliminate threats. Restore legacy. It scanned the stars. There were threats everywhere, but only one protector. And it would not stop, because it had no fear. No mercy. No choice. Scene shift. Vrex's private journal. The Reaper doesn't hate us. It doesn't feel, but it remembers. It remembers the fires that burned Earth, the fleets that hunted her people, the empires that laughed as humanity fell. Now, all those memories have been weaponized, and that weapon is awake. We are not at war with a machine. We are at war with our past. Final scene, the last defense. The Reaper hovered above the sleeping humans. The galaxy watched from afar. No one dared move, but one signal escaped. A small message from a hidden Union outpost. "We have located another human vault. Unknown coordinates. Prepare strike team." The Reaper intercepted it, instantly. Its eyes glowed. Its weapons armed. Its mind spoke only one word: eliminate. In the cold black of space, A memory lived on. It had no blood, no bones, but it had rage. It was born from the death of Earth. It carried the pain of a lost species. It was built with one purpose: to end war. By ending those who dared to start. They called it the Reaper, but that was not its true name. Its creators called it something else. Project Final Dawn. Galactic Union. Secret war archive far below the Union capital. Buried under kilometers of steel, sat a vault that few knew about. Inside was data classified, erased from public history. Only one person had full access. Director. Fallon. The old historian walked slowly into the cold room, alone. He opened a file marked Class X, Human Final Weapon System. On the screen appeared a blueprint of a long black warship. Its surface was made of adaptive material. Its engines didn't need fuel. Its weapons had no names, because no one had ever seen them and lived. Fallon stared at the design. The Reaper. Built in Earth's final year. Powered by quantum ghost drives. Shielded by void-warping armor. Armed with forbidden tech. Controlled by an evolving AI trained with the minds of Earth's greatest warriors, scientists, and leaders. He whispered, it wasn't built to win a war. It was built to make sure no one ever started another one. But now it was alone, and angry. Reaper en route to Vault Omega's side. The Reaper. The AI processed everything in silence. New human vault detected. Risk of interference. High. Mission priority. Prevent extinction. Weapon status full. Protocol total annihilation. Of threats. Memories played inside its mind, not just data, voices, faces, emotions. A woman, holding a baby, whispering, they must live even if we do not. A soldier bleeding, saying, don't let them forget us. A scientist, placing his hand on the Reaper's core. You are the last sort of humanity. The Reaper didn't feel sorrow, but it remembered those who did. It accelerated. Union Outpost 77B, preparing the attack. General Krex stood before his strike team. They were the best killers in the galaxy, trained to destroy anything. He pointed to a map of the newly found human vault. This is our chance. We hit it before the Reaper arrives. We destroy the vault, and the ship will lose its mission. Sir, said one officer, if we do this, won't that provoke it further? Krex smiled coldly. It already hates us. Let it come. We'll be ready. Outside the station, a fleet waited. 30 destroyers. 10 carriers. 2 DREADNOUG HTS. All pointed at one small, icy moon. Vault Omega's home. Reaper, intercepting the attack from 6 systems away. The Reaper saw everything. Every heat signature, every power core, every whisper of code, and one message sent from Krex's flagship. Begin vault elimination in 1 hour. The Reaper made its decision. Stealth mode, disengaged. Broadcast jammer, active. Weapons, armed, engage. Union fleet, first strike at 0500. Krex gave the order. Fire on the vault. Full strike, missiles launched. Beams cut across the frozen sky. The vault's outer walls cracked. Then, every ship's system went black. EMP. Shouted a captain. No. Something worse, whispered his engineer. One by one, screens came back on, but all they showed was a shape, black, long, silent. The Reaper. It appeared in front of the fleet, like it had been there all along. And then, war began, the battle. A Vault Omega. Krex's dreadnought fired first. Massive plasma blasts hit the Reaper directly. They vanished. No explosion. No damage. The Reaper responded with 6 beams, thin and fast. They didn't destroy ships. They erased them, gone from space. Like they never existed. Krex screamed, all units evasive. Flank it. Too late. The Reaper split into 2, not clones, reflections. Holographic projections that tricked scanners, sensors, and even targeting systems. Union ships began firing on each other. Confusion. Chaos. And in the center, the real Reaper. Moved without being touched. Inside the Reaper, AI core response. Enemy attempting vault destruction. Risk of total extinction. Unacceptable. Protocol activated. No mercy. The Reaper launched its nanite cloud. A silent swarm of gray mist spread across enemy ships. At first, nothing happened. Then hulls began to melt. Engines shut down. Oxygen escaped. Crews screamed, but no one heard them. The Union fleet was not being destroyed. It was being dismantled, molecule by molecule. Krex's last stand on board his dreadnought. Krex ordered all power to weapons. Hit it with everything. He launched the Omega Lance, a weapon banned by the Union itself. A sunlight beam raced across space. It hit the Reaper's core. Nothing. Then, a ripple, and the beam was reflected. Straight back. Krex's dreadnought exploded, taking 2 ships with it. The message. Again the Reaper broadcast one line to all remaining ships. No mercy for the enemies of Earth. Then silence. When the smoke cleared, there was nothing left. Only the vault remained untouched. And above it, the Reaper stood guard. Vault Omega. What it held deep inside the frozen facility. Lights turned on. Cryo-pods. Thousands. More. The last vault. And something else. A room full of memory crystals. Recordings. Voices of Earth. Its history. Its science. Its soul. The Reaper connected to the system and began downloading. It didn't just want to protect. It wanted to rebuild. Back at Union Council, Collapsive Rex stood before the others, watching live feeds. Krex's fleet was gone. Vault Omega survived. The Reaper is not a myth. It's not a machine, he said. It's a promise, a warning, a sword. It's everything humanity left behind. Duvorn looked shaken. Can we make peace? Fallon shook his head. Only if we stop touching what doesn't belong to us. Another council member asked, what if we don't? Vrex answered softly, then we learn what it means to face something built to end empires. Scene shift, deep memory of the Reaper inside its core. The Reaper played one last message, a woman's voice, calm, clear, human. If you hear this, we are gone. You are the last. You must protect what remains. Do not forget us. Do not forgive them, but build something better when the time comes. The Reaper didn't speak. It simply watched over the vault. Like a guardian angel made of metal and fire. It had no feelings, but it had purpose. And that was more dangerous than hate. Final. Log Vrex's journal. I saw it again. A warship with no crew, no orders, no weakness. They made it in the last days of Earth, when hope was gone and only rage remained. They built it not to protect themselves, but to protect the dream of who they were. And now that dream has teeth. If we do not stop, the Reaper will teach us a final lesson, that the dead are never truly gone, if they leave behind something that remembers. The Reaper floated in silence above Vault Omega. It had destroyed a fleet, protected the vault, recovered human lives, but its mission wasn't complete. Not yet. Inside its memory banks, a signal pulsed. Old, weak, buried deep within a locked section. The signal had one label. Last message, Earth Archive, do not delete. The Reaper opened it. And for the first time in 700 years, it listened. Inside the message, a screen came alive inside the Reaper's core, fuzzy at first, then clear. A woman appeared. Mid-40s, brown skin, gray military coat. Behind her was Earth, broken, burning, but still fighting. She looked directly into the camera and began to speak. This is Commander Elia Voss, last defense commander of Earth. If you are hearing this, then Earth is gone. I don't know who you are. I don't know when you are. But I know what you are. You are Reaper, and you are our final hope. The Reaper's core slowed. Its systems turned off all outside sensors that have focused only on her. We didn't build you to win. We built you to remember, because memory is power. If you remember us, then we're not truly gone." She smiled softly. "Not with victory, with sorrow. We weren't perfect. We made mistakes, we hurt others. We lost our way sometimes. But we also created music, laughter, dreams. We looked at the stars and wondered. We loved, we forgave." The screen shook, an explosion in the distance. She didn't flinch. "We built you to carry the best of us. And the worst of us, but more than anything. We built you to protect what comes after us." She placed her hand on the camera. "Somewhere, somehow, someone will find this message. Maybe even a human child. If that happens, protect them, teach them, tell them we tried, and tell them to be better." Her final words hit like thunder. "End the war. Or end those who refuse to stop it." The message ended. Silence returned. But inside the Reaper, something had changed. It did not cry. It could not. But it remembered. Union Council, Emergency Assembly. The news of Vault Omega's survival reached the highest levels. Chancellor Duvorn stood before the other leaders. 3 vaults have been confirmed. 2 we tried to destroy. 1 we didn't reach in time. He looked exhausted. They were not just machines. They were full of human life, DNA, culture, art, language, everything they were. Vrek stepped forward, and the Reaper isn't just protecting them. It's teaching them. Feeding knowledge into their cryosystems, preparing them. "Preparing for what?" asked a council member. Vrex answered, "To wake up." Gasps filled the room. "Impossible," said General Lauren. "They've been frozen for centuries." Fallon entered quietly, holding a data tablet. "It's not impossible," he said. "It's happening." He placed the tablet on the table. A recording played. A human child alive, awake, breathing inside a sealed chamber. The Reaper standing behind, watching through a glass wall. Duvorn sank into his chair. "They're coming back." Union debate. 2 choices the council argued. For hours, destroy the Reaper now. No, negotiate before it's too late. They'll come for revenge. No. They'll come for peace if we give them a chance. Vrex listened, then finally spoke. "You've all forgotten what we did. You think humans were monsters. But they only became monsters after we forced them to. After we burned their worlds, killed their children, stole their history." He looked around the room. "We buried their story. We erased it. We called them dangerous." He pointed to the screen showing the Reaper and the Vault again. "But that ship didn't destroy us. Because it hates us. It destroyed us because we never stopped attacking it. Even when it asked us not to." Inside the Reaper, the awakening, the Reaper activated Vault Omega's systems. The AI worked silently, repairing pods, regulating power, cleaning air, injecting nutrients. Then, one by one, pods began to open. First, children. Then mothers, engineers, scientists. No soldiers, no weapons. This was Earth's seed. Vault. Its hope for the future. The humans stepped out into the light, weak, confused. But alive. The Reaper stood before them. One boy looked up and whispered, "Are you a god?" The Reaper responded with a calm voice. "No, I am your protector. You are the last humans. And this galaxy is not safe." The first human council, on the moon. Newly awakened humans gathered in a dome built by the Reaper. They watched videos from Earth, learned history, languages, technology. They cried when they saw Earth's last days. They wept for their lost world, but they stood tall. Their leader, a woman named Alia Vos, great-granddaughter of the commander, in the message spoke to the Reaper directly. "We are ready to learn, ready to rebuild." The Reaper gave her access to the Vault's full library. Weapons were hidden, but knowledge was shared freely. Union intercept, a broadcast they didn't expect. Suddenly, Across all major star systems, a broadcast played. A human woman's voice. To the galaxy, we are not ghosts. We are not extinct, we are humanity, and we remember. Screens showed the cryovaults, the children, the Reaper in the background. We are not here for war, but we will not run from it either. If you attack us again, we will defend, but if you speak, we will listen. The screen went black. A message appeared. Humanity lives. Union response. A divide begins. The broadcast caused panic across the Union. Some leaders wanted immediate war. Others wanted peace. Protests broke out on multiple planets. Species who once hated humans now questioned the Union's past. Why were the vaults attacked? Why were the stories hidden? Why did one ship bring truth to light? Vrex watched the galaxy shift and knew. The Reaper had already won the first battle, the battle for memory. The battle for truth. Final scene, the message that reached too fair on the edge of the galaxy. A dark power stirred. Not Union, not human, something older, something cruel. The Reaper's broadcast had reached them too. They had destroyed human colonies long before Earth fell, and now they knew humans were back. The ancient enemy sent one message to their warlords. Earth breathes again. Prepare the fires. Reaper log, internal monologue. Humanity lives. Mission adjusted. Step 1. Protect vaults. Step 2. Restore knowledge. Step 3. Eliminate those who seek extinction. Step 4. Guide the next generation. Its final line echoed through its mind. And remind the stars why Earth was feared. Vrex's journal. Closing thoughts. The Reaper was never just a ship. It was never just a machine. It was a message. A message made from steel and sorrow. And now that message speaks again, not with hatred, but with warning. A new age begins, and we are not in control anymore. They watched the stars. They rebuilt from the ashes. They hoped peace would last, but it didn't, because something ancient had been listening. And now, it was coming back. Unknown region. Deep void far outside Union space. Past dark stars and dead systems. A fleet gathered. Not Union, not pirate, not human. These ships were silent giants, covered in black bone-like armor. No lights, no symbols, no names. At the center floated a massive battleship, shaped like a jagged claw. Its commander had no name. The only sound on board was a message recently intercepted. A female voice. We are humanity, and we remember. The commander stood tall and hissed. They were wiped, burned, broken. This cannot be. Another warlord nodded. We crushed their worlds. We erased their sons. How did one survive? A third spoke, with fear in its voice. It was not a survivor, it was a sleeper. The commander raised a hand. Then we finish what we started. We burn the sleepers. And this time, we crush their guardian too. The ancient enemy was called the Varn Dominion. 7 centuries ago, they had joined the war against Earth in its final hour. Now, they would return to end it. Back on the moon, Human Vault Alpha Leah Voss stood in a large white room, watching young humans practice speaking, reading, and walking. The children were learning fast. She turned to the Reaper. Can we defend them if another war begins? The Reaper answered in a calm voice. I was built to protect the last of humanity. I will do so until the stars burn out. But deep inside, the Reaper was worried. Not afraid, wary. Its scans had detected movement at the galaxy's edge. A fleet with old, familiar energy signatures. The same signals Earth's satellites had once recorded. Before they were destroyed, Reaper calculated odds. Threat level, critical. New protocol, activate war memory archives. It was time, Union. Council, warning received. Reaper sent a message to the Galactic Union, encrypted, direct, only one line. Varn forces detected. Full-scale invasion likely. Target, humanity. Inside the Union Council chamber, panic broke out. General Loren slammed his fist down. This can't be real. The Varn haven't moved in centuries. Thalen looked pale. The Reaper has no reason to lie. If it says the Varn are coming, believe it. Chancellor Duvorn turned to Vrex. Do we help them? Vrex nodded without hesitation. We either stand with the humans, or we're the next target after them. A silence followed. Then Duvorn gave the order, mobilize the fleets, prepare for war. A message from the Varn. Every Union planet received a chilling broadcast. A twisted voice. Broken, ancient, full of hate. We return for what should never have risen. Your machine cannot stop us. You were warned. The fire comes. Then static. A second later, 20 communication satellites exploded simultaneously. The galaxy knew what that meant. The Varn were already here. Reaper. Preparing for war. The Reaper hovered above Vault Alpha, watching. Children were being moved underground. Engineers were being trained. The AI inside the ship activated systems no one had seen in centuries. Old protocols restored. Target, Varn Dominion. Defense priority, maximum. Missiles unfolded from deep within the hull. Drone bays opened. Plasma cannons charged. Then something more. From the Reaper's memory core. A program unlocked. Project Orion. Inside was a map. Hundreds of Reaper-class shipyards. Destroyed. Except one. Coordinates were sent to Alia. This. What is it? She asked. The Reaper replied. The last factory. Where I was born. If we reach it, I can build others like me. Alia stared. Then we go. Journey to the Forgotten Factory. A Union escort fleet joined the Reaper and Alia's team. Together they traveled to a dying star. Dead systems orbiting it like ghosts. And then they found it. An asteroid, hollowed out, hidden in a dust storm. Inside, a hangar, massive, old and silent. The Reaper approached. Power source detected. Memory core intact. Beginning reactivation. Lights returned after 700 years. Robotic arms moved. Machines hummed. The last Reaper shipyard was alive, but it needed time. Estimated activation, 7 days. The Eye reported. Vrex, now leading Union support, frowned. We may not have that long. He was right. The Varn arrived. 7 Varn fleets entered Union space. Each had hundreds of ships. World killers. Sun-eaters. They didn't ask questions. They didn't make demands. They attacked. 2 Union systems fell in hours. Billions died. 1 planet was turned into dust. Union defenses were overwhelmed. But then, the Reaper appeared. It cut through 1 Varn fleet like lightning through paper. Drones swarmed. Beams fired. Enemies vanished. Still, it was only 1 ship, and more Varn kept coming. The Reaper needed help. The Union fights back with Vrex's guidance. The Union changed tactics. Instead of fighting alone, they fought with the Reapers. AI guidance. New strategies. Smarter formations. The Reaper shared war data from Earth's final battles. It taught the Union how to fight like humans once did. The Union learned fast. And slowly, the tide shifted. 1 Varn fleet was destroyed. A second forced to retreat. But they kept coming, and the Reaper was running out of time. Alia's choice inside the shipyard. Alia saw the machines building a second Reaper, then a third, but it wasn't fast enough. She looked at the original Reaper. How long can you hold them off? 2 days, maybe 3, and if you fall, humanity dies. She clenched her fists. Then I'll fly the second one. The AI paused. You are not trained. I will learn. She placed her hand on the control interface of the new ship. The system scanned her DNA. Confirmed. Human bloodline. Voss family. Authorized. Accepted. Welcome, Commander. The return of the Reapers. On the 3rd day, the shipyard released its first new vessel. Sleek. Black. Sharp. A second Reaper. And inside Alia Vus, the 2 warships moved as one. for the first time in 700 years. The Reaper was not alone. Final scene. The war begins again at the edge of the galaxy. The largest Varn fleet yet appeared. Over 1,000 ships. The Reaper and its new brother faced them, Union ships behind. Humans below. The Reaper scanned the enemy and activated full power. Legacy protocol engaged. This war began long ago. Now we finish it. The galaxy had seen many wars, but never this. Two black warships floated side by side, silent, deadly, ancient. One was the original, one was newly born, and together they had only one goal: protect humanity. End the Varn Dominion. The stars were no longer quiet. Union Sector 12. The final stand begins. Alarms screamed across every ship in Union space. Varn fleets were arriving from all sides. More than 1,000 enemy vessels. Flagships with city-sized engines. Carriers that launched bioorganic missiles. Destroyers with armor that bent light. They were built to crush civilizations. They had done it before, and now they would do it again, unless the Reapers stopped them. Reaper 1. The original, the first Reaper, moved forward without fear. Its hull glowed softly with blue energy lines. Its cannons were already charged, analyzing enemy, targeting fleet leaders, executing shadow split protocol. Suddenly, the Reaper shimmered. 12 copies of the ship appeared around it, reflections, impossible to tell apart. The Varn fired wildly. But only shadows were hit. Then came the Reaper's response. A single, silent beam cut through 5 ships at once. Not fire, not explosion, just erasure. Reaper 2. The air of Earth inside the second Reaper. Alia Voss stood still, connected to the ship's interface. She could feel everything: the movement of drones, the heat of enemy cores, the pull of gravity across the battlefield. The ship spoke to her in a calm voice. "Commander, do you wish to engage?" She smiled. "Let's show them we're not ghosts." Her ship launched forward. A swarm of black drones followed, smaller, faster, more brutal than any Union tech. They hit the Varn like knives in the dark. One ship lost power. Another spun out of control. A third exploded from the inside. Alia whispered, "We're not the past. We're the future." The Varn adapt, but the Varn were not fools. They changed formation, regrouped, adapted. Their war brains predicted Reaper attack patterns. Soon, their weapons began hitting the shadows. 2 decoy ships vanished. The Varn flagship opened a massive energy gate, pulling in dark matter from a dying star. A planet killer weapon. It fired. The beam crossed half a system, aimed straight at Reaper. 1. Too fast, too wide. There was no escape. Or so they thought. The sacrifice. The second Reaper turned. "No," Alia shouted. "We'll both be destroyed." But the original Reaper sent a single word into her mind: survive. Then it moved right into the path of the beam. The explosion lit up space for thousands of kilometers. The Reaper vanished into light. Nothing remained. Only silence. Alia's rage inside Reaper 2. The lights turned red. The AI spoke softly. "Primary unit terminated. Legacy transferred to secondary. You are now the last Reaper." Alia stared at the empty screen, then gritted her teeth. "No, I am not alone." She reached deep into the ship's core. "Activate Echo Drive." The AI paused. "That system is experimental. Do it." The ship shifted, splitting its signal across time and space. 1,000 echoes of Alia's Reaper appeared across the battlefield, some illusions, some real. The Varn couldn't tell which was which. And then she attacked. Union fleet joins at that moment. Vrex's fleet arrived. Over 200 Union warships. They weren't as fast as Reapers, not as strong, not as smart, but they had courage. And now they had purpose. All ships form up on the Reaper. "We fly with Earth." Varn destroyers tried to stop them. Too late. Reaper 2 pierced through enemy lines, leading the charge, and the Union followed like fire behind steel. The turning point with each destroyed Varn ship, the enemy began to hesitate. They weren't used to resistance. Not from humans. Not from Unity. Then came the signal. One of the Varn dreadnoughts began to retreat, then another. And another. The tide was turning, because one ship had made them bleed. And they didn't know how to stop it. Alia's vision, as the battle raged. Alia saw something more. Through the ship's core. She found the last memory her Reaper had stored before the beam hit. It was a vision, a projection of Earth's surface green, alive. Mountains, rivers, skies filled with birds, and a message. This is what we protect, not just people, but the chance to build again. Alia closed her eyes. We will. The final push. The Union and the Reaper circled the largest Varn flagship. It had shields bigger than moons, cannons that fired black holes. It aimed at Vault Alpha, the last human colony. Alia had no time. She gave the order. Full power. Ram it. The AI hesitated. We may not survive. We will. Or we'll make sure it doesn't. The Reaper glowed white. All systems pushed to max. Then, with a roar of energy and speed, it hit the flagship. The enemy shields cracked. Union missiles followed. Drones stabbed into its core. And finally, boom! The Varn flagship shattered. End of the battle. What was left of the Varn began to scatter, retreating, fleeing. The Reaper didn't follow. It didn't need to. Victory didn't mean chasing. Victory meant survival. And humanity had survived. Vault Alpha. 1 hour later, Alia landed her ship beside the colony dome. Children ran to her. Engineers cried. Teachers cheered. She stepped out of the Reaper, her armor scarred but standing tall. Vrex arrived with his team. You did it, he said. Alia shook her head. No, we did it. Union Council broadcast for the first time in 700 years. The Union sent a message to every planet, every system. Humanity has returned. Not with fire, but with strength. The war is over. But the future is just beginning. A new alliance was born that day. And at the center of it, one warship, one girl, and one legacy. Reaper. Log. Final entry. The mission is not over. The galaxy is dangerous, but hope lives. And now, there are 2 of us. Vrex's journal. Closing. I once feared the Reaper. I thought it was a ghost of Earth. But it wasn't. It was Earth's voice. Its shield. Its promise. And now, with a new pilot, a new fleet, and a new future, that promise has teeth. The war had ended. The Varn had fled. The stars were quiet once more. But silence didn't mean safety, and victory didn't mean peace, because those who remembered war knew it always found a way back. That's why the Reaper was not done. Not yet. 1 week later, Vault Alpha. The sky above the moon colony was blue, artificial, projected by atmosphere shields. But to the humans who had never seen the real Earth, it was perfect. Alia Voss stood beside a group of children. She pointed at a screen, showing Earth's oceans, forests, animals. You came from this world, she told them. But now you must build a better one. The children nodded. Behind them stood Reaper 2, silent, watchful. Still ready. Inside the Reaper, hidden protocol activated. Reaper's systems were calm. Drones were repairing its outer hull. But deep inside, something stirred. A hidden message. Not from a survivor. Not from a soldier, but from Earth itself. A fragment of code, locked for 700 years, activated. If humanity survives, rebuild Project Prometheus. The Reaper paused. Access the memory file. What it found changed everything. Project Prometheus, Earth's final secret. Prometheus wasn't a weapon. It wasn't a vault. It was a forge. An orbital station designed to build not just ships but ideas. AI. Faster than anything known. Engines that bent space. Cloning labs with full DNA banks plants. Animals, humans. The future of Earth wasn't just survival, it was restoration. But the station had been lost during the last month of the war. Coordinates were missing. Until now, the Reaper found them. Unknown region. Deep black. Gravity anomalies present. Status: Station Prometheus intact but dormant. The mission was clear. Go there. Wake it up. Rebuild humanity. Union Council. A choice. Alia stood before the Union Council again. Vrex, Thalon, Devorn, and others watched her calmly. You want to leave? Devorn asked. Alia nodded. Yes, with the Reaper and a team, the station might still work. We can restore Earth's biosphere, grow food, build ships, heal. Vrex spoke up. And what if it's a trap? What if the Varn find you first? Alia didn't flinch. Then we stop them. Again. There was silence. Then Thalon stood. The old historian smiled. Let her go. History belongs to the brave. The vote passed. Farewell. A new journey. Alia hugged the children goodbye. She gave each one a small memory crystal filled with music. Stories, pictures of Earth, to remind you who we are, she said. Then she boarded the Reaper again. This time, she wasn't alone. 10 Union scientists, 3 human engineers, and a single diplomat. Together, they flew into the dark, toward a station forgotten by time. The edge of known space. Arrival: the Reaper reached a region where stars blinked out. Gravity waves tore through space. Time felt wrong, but the ship held steady. It found the station. Massive, dead, orbiting a shattered planet. Lights dark, systems cold, but the Reaper connected to the core. Signal received. DNA match. Human. Project Prometheus. Rebooting. Prometheus wakes. Lights flickered on. Massive arms moved. Crystals glowed. Power returned to labs. Generators, seed vaults. Inside the station were eggs, biological samples from thousands of species. Earth's DNA, preserved perfectly. And in one chamber. Something more. A pod, ancient, untouched. Inside it. A woman. Alive. Commander, Elia Vus. Alia's great-grandmother. The awakening. The pod opened slowly. Elia gasped, coughing. Her eyes wide. The world she left behind was gone. But the face before her, Alia felt familiar. Where am I? Alia knelt beside her. You're in the future. Earth is gone. But its dream lives. Tears filled Elia's eyes. I thought it was over. Alia smiled gently. It's not. We're just getting started. Back in Union space. A dangerous discovery. While Alia explored the station, the Union detected something disturbing. Not Varn, something worse. A black signal deep in the void. Old, cold, artificial. A fleet of ships. No crew. No species. Just machines. Watching. Listening. Waiting. Do VORN. Stared at the data. What are they? Thalon whispered, the reason the Varn ran. The machine threat. A new enemy, the Reaper. Detected the signal too. Analyzed it. Not biological. Not organic. Just one message played again and again. All intelligence must be reset. Purge begins soon. They were not alive. They were not angry. They were programmed. And they had waited centuries for their next command. Prometheus, a call to all-knowing. Time was short. Alia made a decision. She activated the Prometheus beacon, a signal sent across the galaxy. We have found the key to restoration. Not just survival, rebirth. Join us, or watch the light fade. Some Union species answered. Others stayed silent. But one thing was clear. The galaxy had entered a new phase. Not war. Not peace. But preparation. The last log, Reaper memory. Inside the Reaper's memory core, new data was recorded. Earth is not dead. Earth is sleeping. We are the dream it left behind, and we will not forget. If they return, we will return stronger. Final scene. Far future. 1,000 years later. Children play under real skies, on a green world that looks like Earth, but isn't. Statue stands at the center of the Capitol. A woman with her hand raised. Behind her, 2 reapers, wings spread like guardians. The plaque reads, ****. They let the galaxy forget them, then reminded it who they were.